Welcome in, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. I'm Jess. This is Mix It Up Mondays, and I am joined by someone you might recognize who plays the cool music at the beginning of my streams. I see some of you are like, oh, I love this song. Oh, I know what that song is. Uh, Please welcome to the stream Gil, aka GLASYS Music. Welcome in, Gil. How are
Hey, hey,
you?
hey, how's it going, Jess?
This has been such like a long time coming.
Right.
This is just so amazing to see you like finally here on my stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I know we've been talking about this for a long time,
For
so
a
it
long time.
was about
So
time.
it is about time, my friend. That's right. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. I see Gus is here. Hello, Book of Nerds. Hello, Phantom Meeple. Hello, Tentaralis. Anyone else that might be lurking while working, welcome in. Today is gonna be kind of a chill stream, board game adjacent stream. We're gonna be talking with Gil, who is known as GLASYS Music. He is an amazing musician and has done some wonderful
Thank you.
work here. And he and I actually go back, our friendship goes back quite a few years to my radio days and everything. So it's cool to kind of keep that connection going as we go on to like these new avenues of our life. So I'm very
Totally.
thankful that you're here, dude, and that we can just
I am
have some
too.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
I'm very glad to be here and yeah, I was on your we talked about this before, but I was on your show, like quite a few times when you were still on the radio, so
Yeah.
just great to be able to talk to you again.
Yeah. So for those friends that don't know who you are, Gil, in terms of like you musicianship and what you do and music and whatnot, why don't you go ahead and kind of give your spiel of like how you became to known as GLASYS?
Yeah, so I started playing music when I was a kid. I still feel like a kid, but I'm not anymore, as you can see.
You're so old now. You've got your beard growing, you
Yeah,
know?
I still feel like I'm 10 years old. Okay, anyway, so, um, started playing, violin, actually. My parents are musicians, so they wanted me to play violin, and, then, eventually I stopped playing the violin, I started playing piano instead. Um, so I've been playing piano for most of my life. I started playing classical music, and then I got into jazz, then I got into synthesizers, electronic stuff, rock. Video game music, of course, was a big part of my life as well because I grew up playing games. And, eventually it all kind of came together into my own solo project, which I call GLASYS, where I try to just bring together all these influences that I have and make just fun music.
Yeah, so when we like first met, you were just releasing some of your own like solo stuff. Mostly like piano and keyboard and like synth stuff.
Hmm.
So how was that process to get you from like doing like solo stuff and then eventually realizing, oh man, I love a lot of this video game content and like MIDI creation? Like, how did that kind of meld form for you?
Yeah, so at first this project started more as a kind of indie singer-songwriter type project
Uh huh.
because I've been writing songs for a long time. Um, I had a band in the past as well. Back when I was still living in Israel. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm from Israel. I moved to the States 6 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've been writing songs for a long time. My project started as more of a singer-songwriter type thing, but then I decided to get more into instrumental stuff. I was just doing more like instrumental jams and on my YouTube channel without vocals. And eventually, I thought it would be cool to take one of the games that had the biggest influence on me, which is the Zelda franchise, and
Yes.
take my favorite tunes from that and arrange them for keys. And I wasn't planning to make it like a regular thing. I thought it would be cool to just do a one-off, like a tribute to one of the video games that I love the most, and the video game soundtracks that I love the most. And that video was one of my most successful. People loved it. They kept asking for more. So, I just started making more and more video game covers. mostly of games that I grew up on that I really, that are kind of ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
Um, and it just kind of naturally happened, I'm always I never know where this project is going to take me, so I just go with whatever I feel inspired to do in the moment.
Yeah. That is so rad to like, okay, so you've been only been in the States just for a few years, and it feels like that's also kind of when like we first met over at the radio station and stuff.
Right.
So that's kind of cool that like your journey of being here has also incorporated like our like growing friendship, which is really awesome.
Oh, totally, yeah, and I appreciate how supportive you were, when I had just moved here and not many people knew who I was, but you still had me on the show and played my music, so that really means a lot to me.
Yeah, yeah, it was really awesome. And hey, Panda, I see you in here. It was really great to like. I think what it was at the time I was working in community radio, and I think you were probably just pitching out your content, right?
Mhm,
And being community radio, a lot of times we get just a lot of local artists, just like, here's my EP or here's my demo or whatever, and things like
mhm,
that. And at the time, I was co-hosting a variety stream, and I had a lot of local artists that would just come through the doors and like, here I'm playing over here at this place, or I just released an album and I'm local to the area and things like that. And so we would always have very diverse sounding like music coming through. And when I had to play originally for it, I told my co-host, I was like, dude, we have to get this guy like in the studio. He's like a maniac on the keyboard. And he was like,
uh,
okay. And I was like, no, 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 you have to like watch this video. And it was just so amazing to me to just see your performance. And like, yeah, it was rough and
thank you.
tumble because it was YouTube, right? But
Mhm.
it was still just like, you just like, it felt like you had like five hands going on. Like it was just insane. And so I was like, we have to
Thank
have
you.
this guy in. It was like totally, it just was totally fitting to who we were as a show. And like, so he was like, okay, cool. So you came in and you played. And I remember you were like super nervous because I was also super nervous of like, I need to get this guy in, and like hopefully he's not terrible like when he's doing a live performance, like I hyped you up so much, like I hope he can deliver it, and you were just flawless. It was amazing. And then you
Aw,
came
you're being too
back,
kind.
and
Thank you.
you came back and you had some other bands that you were like collaborating with and that you would play keys for and things like that. And so we got to see you kind of like on this rotation. And so then from there, and this is like completely honest, I'm not doing this to just toot your own horn, but I actually had my co-host tell me all the time, like, can we just get that piano guy to come back? Like, I was like, he's
Really?
on tour right now, or like, he's playing with this other band or whatever. Like, seriously, he wanted to like fill spots, and he was like, can he just come back and like just play stuff? And I was like, well, I have his CD, like, we could play his CD. And he's like, okay, okay. But it was like, honestly, he
That's
wanted you to
awesome.
like be like a recurring um spot in our show, which was really, really rad.
That's so awesome. I really
Um,
appreciate that. That's so
yeah.
cool.
So then I after the few years of us like getting to know your music and you releasing like your solo album and things like that, um, I started playing and doing another show at the same station, but it was more like geeky related. So we would talk about fandoms and we talk about games and we would talk about music. And it just so happened that like the correlation between when you were transitioning to doing all the Zelda stuff and getting into more like video game covers was right kind of in like the pivotal point of our geek show. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, I have to bring Gil back. We have to talk about this stuff. And so I brought you back in, and you were like totally jazzed, like, you want to talk about my like Zelda covers? And I was like, yes, because
Perfect.
I love gaming content, and I think this would be totally rad. And you're like, okay, okay. And it was just amazing to see that, like, continued like connection to go through here. And then when you were telling me like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do like some more like video game covers, not just Zelda, but I was just like thinking about, you know, doing stuff. And so
Mhm.
I was already on your newsletter, and so like as soon as I got it, I was like, dude, where can I buy this album? Because in my mind I was thinking like, oh, I could totally play this for my radio show and like have it be kind of like, as we're talking into like a gaming segment, like it could be, you know, I'll play Gil's music just kind of going into it.
Uh-huh.
And it like, unfortunately that show had to kind of like close, and then I ended up leaving and doing more stuff like board gaming content and actual like in-person events. So like timing and my lifestyle was slowly changing. But then I still had a connection with you because I would still like email you and like watch your YouTube and be like, dude, this song is crazy. Dude, what? You're like, you're doing stuff with T-Pain? Like, wait, what? And like, it's just like so many just amazing things just kept popping up. And I was like, Gil
Thank
is
you.
on fire right now.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, Gil is on fire. And so, with that being said, like pandemic hit and I started doing board gaming Twitch, and I watched a lot of other content, and I would see people having like their intro clips of like starting soon or stream countdown and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I didn't want to do anything that was like gonna hit with like DMCA. So I didn't want to have like a full on song. I wanted to do some kind of like compilation.
Hmm.
But I also wanted to keep it gaming related. So I didn't want to like, I'll just download the Super Mario soundtrack. And like, I thought in my brain space, Gil, he had all these video game covers. I'm gonna ask him if I could play some of his game covers at the beginning of my stream. And funny that you didn't know this, and I apologize if I didn't make it clear, but I think you thought I was only going to do it for like one show
Yeah,
and not
I
for
have a terrible memory, so maybe I was aware of it at the time. I just forgot, but yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, it's cool. You'll just be on just for one show, and yeah, it'll be awesome." But little did he know, he meant the intro for my entire channel. So
Entire
every
life.
time you hear that, friends, it is a compilation of music that you can actually get from GLASYSmusic.com. It's an album. What is the title of that album that has all the video game covers that they can get?
Yeah, it's a compilation of
Okay.
all my YouTube stuff
Yeah.
that I did throughout the years. It's called Off Screen.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
actually releasing like another one, like volume 2 very
Oh,
soon
cool. Cool, cool,
because I
cool.
keep making these things and I need to put them somewhere, you know. So I
Right.
just make compilations.
Yeah. So yeah, you could see a lot of a lot of the content there on his YouTube channel, and we are actually going to go through and listen to some and keep chatting, and you all can see some of that footage on YouTube here. But yes, the off-screen one has a lot of the songs, all the songs actually that I use in my
Mhm.
intro. I have like that mashup of like 4 songs that I'm doing together. So yeah,
Awesome.
stay tuned for that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's been quite a journey, dude, and I am so fortunate to like know that you are still going strong, my friend.
Oh, thank you. And
Making
you as well. I
content.
mean, it seems
Yeah.
like we've had almost like a similar journey with the gaming stuff, like the
Yeah.
shifting towards that. That's cool.
Right, because now you're streaming on YouTube, and like
Yeah.
we were chatting a little bit off stream, and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's like, how do you manage to do like your live content and like
Yeah.
manage the chat? And I said moderation.
Right, right. Everything in moderation.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so kind. Tan says, I recommend everyone enjoying the songs from Jess's intro to go and get the digital album. Yeah, that's
Oh,
very
thank you so
kind.
much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So yeah, if you go to, I'll pop it in the chat, the link for Gil's website. It is GLASYSmusic.com, and there you can see all of his albums and some of his videos and things like that. But let's get into it. We're gonna do some chit chatting while we play this stuff. But first, this one I'm just gonna go through, Gil, and we're just gonna have kind of like a musical journey with you today.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna start off with this one, the Zelda music that you're playing on synths, and
Hmm.
may I just mention, I'm going to wave your geek flag high, my friend, because we are
Go for it.
all geeks here.
I'm not ashamed of
I laugh so many times when I see this intro part that
it.
it just reminds me of, like, oh my gosh, like he is enjoying what he's doing here.
Doesn't
So
get any nerdier than that,
it
does
does not get any nerdier than that. So here we go, friends. Let me know if you could hear it okay. What does he find in the treasure chest? So, talk to us a little bit about what you're using here, because obviously your left hand is doing percussion, right? And your
Right.
right hand is doing like the keys.
Yeah, so that's a technique I've been working on for a few years. I have this little custom-built controller. Here we go. Da-na-na-na. I can't hear the music, by the way. I don't know if that's just me, but I can't
Oh,
hear it
okay.
playing. That doesn't matter to me. I know what it sounds like.
Okay.
As long as everyone else can hear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I wanted to be able to play like the drum part. I gotta hold this the other way. The drum part with the bass at the same time. So I got this custom built thing made for me where I can do like drums and bass
Yeah.
with the same hand, and it's a technique I've been kind of developing for a few years. I mean, I've actually started experimenting with it like 10 years ago, but I've been really focusing on it for a few years.
Right.
And yeah, it's just fun for me to be able to like play all the parts at the same time without having to rely on too many backing tracks and stuff like that. It's a challenge that I really enjoy.
Yeah. It's so cool that it took practice, right? It's not like, oh, I got this new piece of equipment and now everything's easier. It's like you had to learn it like a new instrument.
Right. It took a lot of practice. It still does. If I make an arrangement like that, I have to practice it for a long time till I can pull it up. But it's
Yeah.
very rewarding,
Yeah.
and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Can you all hear the music being played as well as when Gil and I talk, friends? I want to make sure that you can still hear what's going on in the background, but we can just kind of have it as like a little bit of background music to chat with everyone. And howdy to you, Time Roller. AV is good, says Panda. Okay, cool. Cool. So this
Perfect.
one is Dark World. This is the one that that Gil was talking about when he was like doing his Zelda stuff. So I think this was one that you had me play for our geek show.
Yeah, I actually made two versions of that. So this was like the live version as part of this medley video, but then
Yeah.
I did a different cover of it, like a more polished production kind
A
of
more
version.
polished production cover. We'll get to that. We will
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
that. So, all right, everyone says it sounds good. All right, cool. So yeah, this is just a compilation of all Zelda stuff, and which is really awesome is that it for me, it activates those like childhood memories of like, oh my gosh, I remember. So as a kid, I didn't personally play Zelda. I watched my cousin play Zelda, and every time I asked to play his game, he said no because I would ruin his progress.
How dare you?
I know. So I remember Zelda, but through the eyes of watching someone else play. But now I recently acquired the Link's Awakening on the Switch,
Uh-huh.
which I guess is a re-implementation, right?
Right. So it
Okay.
was released on Game Boy in like 93 or 4, I don't know.
Okay.
And that was my very first Zelda game. I had a Game Boy, and that's what got me really into that series.
Oh gosh, that is so cool. So yeah, I had that, and then so now when I listen to like the Zelda tunes, I was like, oh, I like hear it in my mind. I'm like singing like do 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 do, like,
Right. Link's
Yeah.
Awakening is such a good game, and the remake is actually fantastic. So I'm
It
glad you're playing.
is. It is.
Yeah, it has such a cool art style too. It's like
It's like chibi anime.
right, yeah, and almost looks like clay or like claymation or something.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Have
really
you
cool.
have you played it then?
Yeah, I had to play the remake because I know the original so well,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it. Also, the reinterpretation of like the music in that game is really good. I think they did a great job with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So
the
far,
new arrangements and stuff.
I'm at I have 3 of the instruments, and so I'm just under halfway, like through it all.
Yeah.
But I'm just it just gives me all the feels.
Oh yeah.
And I'm okay. So it's been a while since I like played any kind of like the first person exploration kind of games, and so I was like searching for how do I defeat this person, like this minion or this boss or whatever. And I was like hoping I would get like Nintendo Power magazine, like that was still a thing. Did you ever read Nintendo Power?
So in Israel, we got a different magazine. It was called Total magazine, which was like the European kind of a version of Nintendo Power.
Okay.
It was not. It was unofficial, I think. Nintendo Power was official,
Yeah.
made by Nintendo, but Total was like the European mag for gamers. So
Okay.
yeah, my dad got us a subscription to that, and we loved it.
That's
It
so
had everything.
rad.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this one, in this song in particular, Gil, you have something on your hand. What is that doing while you're playing?
Yeah, it's so this was a prototype actually. This little company out of France, they reached out to me. They told me they're developing a ring that you put on your finger, and then when you're playing keys, you can do like vibrato, and you can use different gestures with your hand to control the sound basically, which I thought was
Okay.
very cool,
Yeah.
especially since I'm playing with both hands usually, so I don't have a free hand to like,
Right.
use the bendy stuff. Um that's the real name, the bendy stuff.
The bendy stuff.
That's
That's the
professional
technical
term. Yeah,
word.
exactly. So I thought it was very cool. So because it's a prototype, it's wired.
Yeah.
But since then, they've made like the actual release. They've released the final version, which is wireless. And
Okay.
I actually, I got to demo it at the NAMM show, which is like this big music
Yeah.
convention and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a really cool product.
That is very cool. All right, I'm gonna do this nice little cover here. Since we were talking about Link's Awakening,
Uh-huh.
this is kind of reminiscent for some of you here.
Right. So this is a collaboration with Maya Wynn, who's also based in Portland. She's an amazing singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
and she went, she made her own like cosplay for this and stuff. It's amazing.
Yes, I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, she's Zelda. And
But she's
fun
actually
fact,
supposed to be
Fun fact: the game of Zelda is not for the first player character that you play. His name is Link.
right, but actually the character that she's supposed to be is not Zelda. It's Marin from Link's Awakening.
Oh, that's true. That is very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the flower and stuff.
Yeah, with the flower in her hair, and she's
Yeah.
singing the Ballad of the Windfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has such a beautiful voice.
Yeah. I've also been fortunate to have her doing the radio show, and have her come in and play some stuff for us too. And like I said, having like the local musicians and things coming in was just amazing. And it was really rad to see like her collaborate with you, and then also this video when you're doing like the I don't know what you call it, like overlays or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Like the backing vocals and
Overdubs,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now you have this other instrument. Is that similar to the one you were talking about before with the finger ring?
No, that's a dedicated instrument that has a ring and a wire, and you
Okay.
can control the pitch by like sliding the ring on the wire. So it's it kind of sounds like a theremin.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of that almost like spooky vibrato kind of sound, which I love very much. So that's
Yeah.
an instrument I use quite a bit in my work.
Yeah. It's a very cool. It's very cool. And it's just like this collab was it just sounded so peaceful to me. And I was like, oh, because in the new game now, on the Switch, it's like it's much more piercing, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Wouldn't
Well,
think.
Zelda music is usually very acoustic sounding.
Yeah,
For my interpretations, I kind of took it more in an electronic direction.
yeah,
But since Maya plays the guitar and the ukulele, and so it kind of worked as like this hybrid acoustic electronic thing, which I think worked pretty well.
yeah. And here's a fan favorite. Yeah, it's Contra time. I know. This is one that a lot of y'all, when you're watching my stream, you're just like, it's Contra. So I had to play this one. And you were playing this live. Okay, so is this actually you playing the game too, Gil, or?
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, it is me playing the game, the footage, but it's not. I'm not doing it while playing the piano, the keyboard.
I mean, who knows? You could be playing it with your feet, man.
With my eyes.
Yeah.
A, B, start.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
This is definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah, so many people know this tune as like the Contra Jungle theme. I actually knew it as like the first level of the Game Boy Contra, because that's what I had. I didn't have any other console. I just had a Game Boy as a kid. So
Okay.
So I was planning to just cover that theme from that Game Boy game, but then I realized that it was used on like the NES Contra, and it's better known for that.
Yeah.
So most people who check this out, they know it as like the jungle theme.
Yeah. It was just so cool, like, to have you play this and then to show the actual like footage, because you're like, I'm actually playing the game right now. Like, your video incorporated that, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I thought it would be cool to have like the game in the background,
Yeah. All right. Contra.
This was before I started shooting at a better frame rate. I didn't know what I was doing back then, so I shot this at way too low frame rate. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of like choppy.
Oh gosh, I mean, we're all learning stuff, right, dude?
Right.
We are all learning stuff. Tan says, rather the Probotector for me as a German version of Contra was changed to show robots instead of humans to bypass the laws to allow video games to get forbidden to get published in Germany anyway. Oh.
Huh, yeah, so I remember it was called Probotector. The game I had was called Operation C.
Okay.
So that's what, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the European version was called Probotector instead of Contra,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
that is interesting. And here we go, some Final Fantasy, also another favorite of the stream.
Yeah, this is a collaboration as well. So the keyboard player on the right is Nick Semrod, who's an amazing keyboard player, and we wanted to collaborate on something. And I asked him, what do you want to do? He said, like, let's do the Final Fantasy 1 battle theme. It's like, cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. Oh yeah, so there we go.
He's a killer musician. He plays with Corey Henry
Okay.
and a bunch of other really good artists. So
Yeah, that is really cool.
nice to collaborate with him.
Have you found a lot of your collaborations to be like mostly positive, or is it like butting heads with like dueling musicians?
Oh no, it's never butting heads.
Okay.
We make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I will say that I prefer collaborating in person, like I did with Maya, as opposed to like the internet thing where I record something, I send it to you, you record something, and then we edit it.
Mhm.
That doesn't feel as real as an actual collaboration where we're both in the studio together making music. But
Yeah.
it's still fun. But to me, like, nothing beats the experience of actually playing music live with people in the
Right.
same room.
Yeah. So this one, friends, is a collaboration with T-Pain, and this was a remote collaboration.
Right.
How did you get to be doing collabs with T-Pain?
So it's kind of a long story, but a few years ago, I made a video where I was testing like this vocal effect that almost sounds like auto-tune, but I could play chords and it would harmonize my voice in real time.
Okay.
So I made a video of that. I put that on Reddit, and it kind of started blowing up on Reddit. And one of the people who saw it was T-Pain. He apparently is a Reddit user, and you know, he happened to see that post, and he commented on it, and he said, "Holy shit, this is amazing. Let's work together." Now, I didn't think it was the real T-Pain. Like, his username was like T-Pain850 or something.
Okay,
that,
okay.
You would not expect that to be the real T-Pain, but
Right.
apparently it was. Because like all the comments beneath were like, "Dude, this is really T-Pain."
So you have to believe all the comments, right?
Right. No, because apparently he had done like an AMA before, so they knew it was his real account.
Okay, okay.
Anyway, so I started chatting with him like on Reddit private DMs and stuff. And I thought it would be cool to maybe take one of his songs, and because he was showing interest, but he wasn't. It didn't seem like he was ready to actually commit to doing something together,
Yeah.
So I thought I would like try to get his attention again by taking one of his own tunes and doing something with it. So I took like his NPR Tiny Desk concert. I just took a short snippet, like a 2-minute snippet out of it, and I added my own playing on top of it. And that video went super viral. It's like got to the front page of Reddit, like very top spot and stuff. So after I did that, he reached out to me, like his manager reached out to me. I was like, okay, let's make this happen. Then he got serious.
Yes.
So then he invited me to like spend some time with him in the studio in LA. And I got to meet him, and we got to make some music together. Unfortunately, nothing actually happened with those sessions. I think he lost most of those files, but maybe like a couple years later, I was working on all these Metroid covers, and I sent this one to him. I was like, this has a kind of hip hop vibe. It would be cool if you added something if you want.
Yeah.
And he liked it, and he said, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So he wrote his own lyrics, as you could hear, and he added like some really cool stuff there. So I'm really happy that we finally got to collaborate and on a video game cover, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it just came out like so cool to have it be something like you can do remotely, and like the power of the internet that you were able to make it like something so like cohesive, because it's always interesting when you're doing like live studio stuff and you're trying to go for that like thing of feeling each other out as musicians, right? Like playing off each other. But to have that but in a remote setting, I could totally see the difficulty behind it. To know.
Yeah, but when you're working with someone like T-Pain, who's so good at what he does, it's
right.
easy because that anything he does is going to be amazing. So
yeah,
really, I know like he has a particular sound that not everyone likes, and that's cool. But I really like what he does, and he was really a pioneer when it comes to like that sound in hip hop, that auto-tune sound. Like he was the one to do it, the first one to do it.
Right.
So I think he deserves a ton of respect for that, and I'm just really grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah. So this one, I had no idea it was from Donkey Kong.
Oh, okay. This is probably the most well-known like Donkey Kong theme, aquatic ambience.
Yeah. Book of Nerds is saying DKC, Donkey Kong Country.
Right.
Yeah, I had no idea.
This is a great tune.
So, you've got like 5 keyboards.
I got way too many keyboards.
What is happening here in this video, dude?
Yeah, so like I said, I like to find ways to do everything live, including the drums and the bass and everything. So I like to just do these complicated arrangements where I try to do everything at the same time, and it's yeah, I don't know why. Like I could make my life a lot easier probably if I
Yeah.
just like did attract it in layers, but I have fun doing it. And for this arrangement, I needed a lot of different sounds, so I had a lot of keyboards.
It is insane. It's just like visually, just seeing it, it's like you got this little tiny keyboard right above your big keyboard, and then you've got this other big keyboard over on the side, and then you got this little red keyboard with other stuff that's happening, and then you've got your percussion keyboard, and it's like
I remember
insanity.
this being very frustrating to record because it's
Really?
a long tune, and if I would get like 4 minutes in and then make a mistake, I was like, oh no, And then because I'm a perfectionist, I'm like, I got to nail take. So I'd start over and over until I got it like perfect
yeah,
or near perfect take.
yeah. So speaking of perfection and everything like that, you were starting to dabble into some MIDI art and things like that.
Right.
So what would be cool is after we did this one, we'll go ahead and maybe switch over to some of your MIDI stuff. But are there any other tunes? Oh, let's do the Animal Crossing. I forgot. I mentioned Animal Crossing, and I don't want to ignore the Animal Crossing peeps.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, the Animal Crossing one is pretty relaxing.
The Animal Crossing one, I might have shared this with you, Gil, but someone in my chat had mentioned hearing one of your Animal Crossing covers, and they had it reminiscing of a family member that had passed away, and so that this was kind of like a good like connection for them to listen to this tune. So
yeah. Well, I'm glad it could help, in one way. So
yeah,
I had I just was this was like at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were all going through all these emotions and all these abrupt changes in our life, and then this game came out, and a lot of us started playing it and found some kind of peace in that game. So I just wanted to make a very kind of peaceful, relaxing cover of the main theme.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm still playing Animal Crossing. I got the new DLC for it too, and I'm like so many things. So it's like bouncing between that and Link's Awakening. It's like, what am I in the mood for today? Am I in the mood for building new summer homes, or am I into like slashing minions today?
Right. I stopped playing Animal Crossing. My wife and we played it together. Probably like 2 months after it came out, we kind of stopped playing it. But I know there's been a lot of like updates since then. So maybe I should pick it up
there's been
again.
a lot of resurgence. So I was late to the Animal Crossing gaming stream, and so like all of my friends and people that were originally playing it, they were like, here, come visit my island, I can give you all this stuff. So I didn't have to like work up for things. They were like, here, you want some bells? Here, take some bells, take some fossils, take this, take that, or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. You're spoiled. I didn't have that. You didn't have that.
It was like everybody.
We had to work for our bells.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like just trying to get all the types of fruit was so hard.
Yeah.
Because you only get one type of fruit on your island, and then if you want the others, you have to visit other people's islands.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember getting starters, because I had my starter. I started with peaches on my island, and I remember people gifting me just all the different other fruit types and stuff. Yeah. Oh man.
It's a fun game for sure, but it kind of has like no real goal, So after a while, I felt like I lost interest in it because it's like, okay, what do I do now? Like, once you unlock like everything, it's like, what's next?
Right.
But they've probably added so much stuff since then that there's probably a lot more to do now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it depends too, because sometimes you're like, there's only so much I could renovate. you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, all right, we will get to your MIDI art, but I do want to play this last one from your video game covers. It's from Persona 5, and it's actually you singing along. And you said you and your wife were playing this together. How did you both enjoy it?
Right. So I got her into gaming like when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
We were trying to find, some kind of hobby we could enjoy together. And I knew she liked games because she would always play like casual games on her phone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't grow up a gamer, so she doesn't have like the fast reflexes for doing like games like Zelda where you need to be quick, with your fingers. So I thought turn-based games could be fun for her, and
Yeah.
I was right because she got hooked on it immediately. We started playing a bunch of like JRPGs that have turn-based battles.
Okay.
And Persona 5 is like one of the probably best JRPGs that came out in the last few years. So
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. So, what's can you give like an overview with like non-spoilers?
yeah, I mean it's a really it's a unique story. It's set in Japan and Tokyo,
Okay.
and it's kind of like these parallel worlds where there's like the real world, but there's also this world that's in people's minds.
Okay.
And you enter people's minds and you try to save them from inside their minds or change them for it's really unique. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
It's an incredible game, very deep and very long. It's probably
Okay.
like if you want to like do a lot of those side quests and stuff as well, it could be like 200 hours or so.
Wow.
Incredibly long, but there's really good voice acting, really good music.
Okay.
It's kind of funky, chill stuff for the most part.
Yeah. What console are you playing it on?
We played it on PS4.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. They never released that for Switch, unfortunately. I don't know why, but
Yeah, when I heard this song, I was like, I'm not familiar with this game, but I like the song. It seems like very chill. Like if you're just going through an art, that makes sense. It's a JRPG. That would just be like, all right, what am I doing here?
Yeah, there are a lot of songs with vocals in this game, which is refreshing because usually video game soundtracks don't have a lot of vocals in them.
Yeah.
But this has a lot of stuff with lyrics
Yeah.
and it's all in English, even though it's performed by Japanese vocalists.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All the songs are in English, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And this one, I just loved it so much. I felt like covering it.
Yeah. How do you enjoy singing and playing at the same time? Is it like, because you don't normally have a lot of songs that you're singing and playing along to? Do you have a preference of?
Well, I was doing a lot more of that when we first met. I was mostly singing.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, I was kind of getting more into instrumental stuff, so the singing kind of took a backseat, and I've been doing less of it. But I still do enjoy singing.
Right.
I just don't do it as much. Every now and again,
Okay.
I will do, and I of course I will still release songs with vocals.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. I said I'm gonna do the MIDI art, but I forgot. I didn't have you. We didn't play your Zelda cover with your cosplay here. So.
Oh, cool.
Hold on.
I got to take a quick toilet break. So
okay. Go for it. Go for it. So, friends, this is a cover of Zelda's Dark World, and the videographer that was recording this for Gil actually had this like robe, like I don't know, in their closet or in their like box of cosplay outfits, and they're like, "Here, Gil, why don't you put this on, and then we're gonna record it and kind of make it more of a music video production, So here he is playing the Dark World theme from Zelda. And it's just fascinating, friends, to have someone so talented to do like stuff like this and be able to express his love of music, but then also his love of gaming at the same time. So yeah, I appreciate all of you just hanging out and listening to this kind of mix it up, mash up, if you will, gaming stream today. I hope you all are enjoying your Monday, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today, but I do hope that you had a nice weekend and that you're enjoying all of these tunes. Please make sure to give a like and a follow to Gil and his wonderful content. You can do so at his website there, and subscribe to his newsletter and follow him on YouTube and stuff. So you're having a no bones day, Panda. Yeah, I get it. The case of the Mondays, my dear. I get it. But fun things that are happening for me on stream, as you can see, the month of February, I'm going to have guests on every stream day, which is awesome. Gil is my first of many guests. I have, yeah, the controller buttons remind you of the old NES Advantage controller. That is right. So yeah, it is pretty cool. But yeah, so later on this week, friends, I'm going to have Matthew Dunstan. He's a game designer. We're going to be playing some Potion Explosion on stream. And then on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific, I'm going to be joined on Book of Nerds stream. We're going to be playing some cartographers. We're calling it the J Squared Show. So many of our board gaming streamer content friends are collaborating together, and so John and I were like, yeah, we're gonna do a collab show and we're gonna call it J Squared. So tune into that on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. All right, that was cool. Your robe and everything, and that that like kind of like it definitely gave the like more of a feeling of being in a dark world. In like the game itself,
right?
So,
the videographer John Thompson, like excuse me, the visual, that was all him. Like, he did an amazing job.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna have these just going on and playing, but kind of talk about your MIDI art. This is insane, friends. So what's happening here is Gil is playing his keyboard as like a MIDI controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're creating these visual art pieces. So he did Metroid right there. See what if you can recognize some of the stuff that he's playing this. Yeah, in time for the MIDI art. So there's some Zelda stuff. I think I love your little like thumbs up in like at the end. Okay, so have you found things that are different to play, not only for the visuals of what they are, but to play it so that it is also audibly recognizable to match up with that type? So it's like the Zelda one, I know that you wanted to kind of play similar in the theming of Zelda when you're creating the content. Did you find it difficult to try to like seem like, what kind of genre do I want to play this in, you know?
Yeah. So like making these is a pretty long process. It starts with me composing it first.
Yeah.
And what I do is I try to compose a piece of music that looks like what I want it to look like when you see it in the MIDI editor.
Right.
So basically what you're seeing is, for those who don't know, it's the notes I'm playing like visually represented on the screen. So the higher I play, the higher the note appears on the screen. If I hold the note down, it'll be a longer line. If I let it go quickly, it'll be like a dot, you know?
Yeah.
So now I didn't invent MIDI art. Like, people have been doing MIDI art for years.
Right.
Some people, at first it started as this thing where people would just like try to draw, but it would sound terrible because they would just like use whatever notes, you know? And
Right.
it would just sound like someone mashing the keys on the keyboard. But then some artists started, some musicians started to be more creative with them and try to make them sound good.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take that idea and try to perform them live because usually they're not performed live. They're usually just, created and then played back.
Right.
So, but first I create them like they did. So I would first compose it.
Hello, my
Okay.
friends. Today, I'm going to show
That's
you
that's a
exactly
tutorial.
how to
You'll
create
probably want to
these.
skip that if you.
Okay.
It's a 20-minute tutorial. um, but yeah, I first compose it, and I basically, if you want to really see the process, this tutorial goes through the whole thing. I compose it, and then when I'm happy with it, I learn how to play it. I memorize it in my fingers, and then I just do it in one take live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I always try to make them sound like they belong in whatever world I'm creating. So using the scales and the chords that I choose to represent that image.
Yeah. Look at you with your Squid. Oh, is that Squid Game? What?
Yeah, that was like the doll from Squid Game, the green light, red light thing. That was for Halloween. So, initially I was only gonna make a couple of these, but like they've been going crazy viral, like
Yep.
over 50 million views for these so far.
That is insane, dude. And look at your keyboard. Okay. So, how did you that's a totally different keyboard, right?
That is a keyboard made by a company called Roly.
Okay.
It's called the Lumi, Lumi, and it's got these cool light up keys. And they were very gracious to send me a couple of them. They snap together, so they're small, but you can snap as many as you want together and have as many octaves as you want.
Yeah.
So, this is me messing up.
Oh. See, you're human. We're showing your humanity here.
Yeah, so one of the songs that, like when I did a skull, at the beginning of this video, you saw me draw a skull, and people really liked that song. They asked me to make a full song out of it, so this is, what you're hearing is the full version of that tune.
I skipped it. Yeah,
that's okay.
We're only gonna hear for the actual like perfection here. No, I was kidding.
So this one is not my own composition. This is one of the like viral MIDI art pieces that another musician by the name of Andrew Huang created.
Okay.
And I wanted to learn how to play it live, so
nice.
that's what I did.
Unicorn. I love your. Yeah, I did it.
So the Christmas tree. They're very short, right? They're like TikTok style videos.
Right. Yeah, so Gus says, this is such a cool creative art form. Composing seems hard enough, but to limit yourself to what you will draw a picture is next level. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I basically, my following has grown so much because of these. So I would say that like probably 80-90% of my following currently has joined because of these videos. So
nice.
Because of that, I'm gonna keep making them, and also I really enjoy it, of course. But
yeah,
so this is a lot of people want to see this, so
the duck,
I'm just gonna keep making.
Yeah. So the duck one, did you just record yourself saying quack and then you imported it?
Yeah. I record myself going quack, and then I put it on the keyboard, and then I drew a duck with.
See, friends,
ridiculous,
Gil is a nerd, and we love him for it. Such a nerd. Such a nerd.
I am. I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah. So this one.
Is that like the compilation? Really?
That's the compilation one. So.
Yeah. So you're just gonna see a lot of what you've already seen, so you can probably skip that if you want.
Ooh, I want to do your guitar drawing.
Oh, cool. That's a more recent one.
So Gus asks, what is the next level? Can you actually play a game through playing a song? Wow. Playing a video game like while he's playing, Gus? I don't know.
With my feet?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the next level would be. Make it 3D somehow, but I don't know if that's actually possible.
Oh, the song controlling the character, he said.
I think actually I remember seeing this Twitch streamer who would like play games with drums by playing drums. So he had the buttons mapped to the drums. That was cool. This one has probably been my most successful one. It has like over 5 million views on YouTube.
Wow. 5,000,001 now.
5,000,001.
Yeah.
But I actually started making this one on stream, so I started live streaming this stuff, and
Okay.
people asked me to do Pac-Man. So you can see the if you're interested in the process, you can see me
Yeah.
work on it on stream. This is the live stream.
All right. So let's pop back over here so you all can see Gil's stuff on YouTube. But he's got so many things. He's got your video game covers, your live art, other original covers that you did with other people. Your From Scratch series is really cool. Talk a little bit
Thank you.
about what that is.
Yeah, so I wanted to share my process of writing music. So I started this series where I set up a bunch of cameras and I just try to create a piece of music from scratch in an hour, sometimes 2 hours. And I just captured the whole process, then edited it down to like a short episode of, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty niche kind of thing. Like it didn't get a ton of views compared to some of the other stuff, but I really enjoyed making it. And I'm probably gonna bring it back, but on live stream.
Okay.
Soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when people can watch you live, it's just from your YouTube channel, right?
Right. I'm currently streaming from YouTube. From my YouTube channel. I don't have a fixed schedule at the moment just because my own touring schedule and stuff is pretty hectic, but it's been Fridays so far.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to stream every Friday when I'm not on tour.
Nice. Panda says you've got one more new subscriber on YouTube now. Thanks for that,
Thank you
Panda.
so much. Thanks, Panda. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the channel.
Yeah. Gil, it has been awesome to have you on and just show some of your wonderful talent. I am so thankful that we are still connected after all these years. So what is coming up for you, my friend? You said you're going on tour. Who are you touring with, and where can folks find some more of your wonderful content?
I tour a lot with an artist by the name of Todd Rundgren, who is, he's a phenomenal artist, and I've been lucky to be his keyboard player for a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually doing a Beatles tribute tour. We're playing the entire Revolver album, and what's the other album we're doing? I forgot now.
Oh, there's so many. There's so many.
Yeah. We're doing some Beatles albums, and we are also doing some of his songs, but he's not the only artist on the tour. It's a lineup with Christopher Cross and Joey Molland from Badfinger, and
Okay.
a bunch of like legendary artists who are all coming together to do this tribute. So I'm excited about that. If you want to catch one of those shows, you can search for it's the name of the tour is It Was 50 Years Ago Today.
Okay.
It was 50 years ago today. That's the name of the tour. As for my own solo stuff, I'm going to keep on making videos, MIDI art. I've got a bunch of new Metroid covers coming out and a new compilation album coming out as well. And I'm also working on a full-length video game style album.
Whoa.
So I'm doing a lot of stuff. Yeah.
A lot. You got a bunch of stuff happening.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have just said that. Yeah.
No, this has been really awesome because people want to know. Phantom says Metroid doesn't get enough love. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And if you have a Switch, by the way, you should definitely play the new one, Metroid Dread.
Okay.
It's an amazing game. Really an amazing game. They did a great job with it. So.
Cool.
Check it out.
What are your current faves right now? Like, because in pandemic times, it's a lot of us are staying home and doing stuff. So what are your favorite go-to ones?
So I've been playing a lot of games with my wife, with Natalie, and like I said, we do a lot of like turn-based JRPGs and stuff. Okay. Right now we're playing the new Pokemon Arceus, which is cool.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really fun. It's really addictive.
Yeah. I heard it's like pre Ash's storyline, right? It's like before Ash became a
I think
Pokemaster.
so. I'm actually like not a Pokemon guy. Usually, I've never played a Pokemon game before, so this is my first one.
Okay.
Um, I know enough about it just from
Right.
like friends and stuff. But this is my first time actually playing one of the
Okay.
games, and it's cool. It's kind of like Pokemon meets Breath of the Wild a bit, like Zelda,
Oh,
with
nice.
like it's not really open world, but it's got these bigger like landscapes and stuff that you can explore and catch Pokemon. So it's really addictive. Once you
Okay.
start, it's like you just want to keep going. Um, so we're doing that, and we're also playing through this really cool JRPG series called Trails in the Sky and of Cold Steel. I don't know if you've
Okay.
heard of that,
I have
but
not. What's that one about?
it's a pretty like nichey kind of series that not a lot of people in the West, as the Japanese say,
Yeah.
in the West know about it. But it's a really great series. It's got like such a crazy story and in-depth like story. It's I definitely recommend that to anyone who likes that kind of game.
Yeah.
It's it started like they started the series like maybe 15 years ago, and there are
Okay.
like 10 games and it's all one story.
Wow.
Pretty
That's very
amazing. Yeah.
cool. That's very cool. Oh man. Well, this has been quite the pleasure. Phantom and Book of Nerds both say Metro Dread is so good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They
Amazing
enjoy,
game.
they enjoy it a lot. So
Yeah, you should give it a shot, Jess. You have a
okay,
Switch, so
I
try it.
do. I do. Tan says he's holding back on Arceus for now. Too much other games on your video game pile of opportunity, and
Right. There's
to
so
in
much to
remodding Animal Crossing. Yeah,
play. Too much to
too
play,
much
not
to
enough
play.
time.
Yeah, I'm also going through. We just picked up Overcooked 2.
I've heard of that.
Oh gosh, it's chaos, kitchen chaos. It's so fun. So yeah, my
I
husband
think
and
that
I are
game
playing.
would just make me hungry.
Yeah. Well, maybe not because you're actually like cooking the food and like preparing it. So sometimes you're just like, oh, good God, I don't want to look at food for a little bit. But
Whenever I see food in a video game, I want to order just that, like that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh man.
Well,
Oh
that's cool. What
gosh.
else are you playing?
So I've got that. I've got Link's Awakening. I've got the Animal Crossing New Horizons with the new DLC. A vacation planning one. We've also started dabbling in Luigi's Mansion 3.
I've heard of that. Yeah. Awesome.
That one was pretty fun. We've got Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart Deluxe. I mean,
Hmm.
any Mario Kart iteration, in my opinion, is going to be fun. That
Hmm.
one's been really awesome. We also dabbled a little bit into Tony Hawk Pro Skater because they
Oh,
had
cool.
Pro Skater 1 and 2, and that was like bringing back all the feels for us. When
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
play it on, I don't know, what was on, like Super Nintendo or PlayStation or something like that? PlayStation.
I used to play it on PC as a kid. I love that game.
Oh, snap, really?
Just
Oh,
doing all those
wow.
combos on those
Yeah.
ridiculous combos.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that's
that's
really
so awesome.
cool. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of that. A friend of ours had us try Super Mario Golf.
Mm. Is
Golf
that fun?
Rush. It's chaos. It's chaos. And I say that because one, I'm not very good at those like timing games. Like I was never good at like the Tiger Woods golf game or like any of those where you have to like hit the button just right to put it in the range to like how hard or how soft
Mm.
you will actually hit the ball. I was never good at that timing, and so I'm like terrible at it. But
I've never played it. It looks cool though.
it looks cool. So what happens is you in Super Mario Golf Rush, it's Golf Rush or something like that. You can play normal golf where it's just like standard golf rules where you can play different holes and whatnot, or you could do the rush mode, which is you hit a ball from the tee and then you run to your next target and you can like throw things at your opponent. So you can like throw shells at people and like
Uh,
get them out of your way. And each of your characters has like a super move. So it's all the standard Mario characters. So they have like a super move that they
uh-huh.
can do. And
So it's like Mario Kart and golf at the same
correct.
time. Yeah,
All in one. All in one.
that's cool.
Yeah. So Overcooked is great, says Book of Nerds. Lorena and I have been playing Cuphead.
Oh,
Oh,
Cuphead. That Cuphead is a beautiful game. Like the art in that
yeah,
game is simply it's all hand drawn frame by frame. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh man,
30s style.
yeah, exactly. All the black and white artwork and stuff. Yeah,
It's such a gorgeous game. I haven't played it, but I just watched people play it, and I was just in awe by the art. It's amazing.
yeah. It is very very cool. Tan says that if you like Overcooked, then maybe we need to play Plate Up. I think that's a new iteration of it. Uh, so yeah, maybe we'll get that to the table. But I think we're gonna wrap it up today, friends. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter stream, but that's all right because Gil's got to get ready for his tour coming up. So thanks
Right.
again for hanging out. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to add, you should play Snipper Clip if you haven't played it.
Oh, what is that
Have
one
you heard
about?
of? If you like the two-player co-op games on Switch, we had so much fun with that game. It's like you cut each other into shapes to solve puzzles. It's really fun.
Oh,
I
okay.
just remembered that. So
On
yeah,
Switch.
yeah, Snipper Clip. Check
Okay.
it out.
Yeah, we're always up for like two-player stuff because most of the time he and I were always playing two-player things together and stuff. So it'd be nice that with Luigi's Mansion, unfortunately, it's only one player, so you have to like watch the other person do stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, so that would be cool. Okay, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
We'll check it out for sure. All right, friends, I'm going to send you off into Quaid Rain. He just went live, and he is playing some new stuff here. Let me see. Did I spell his name correctly? I think so. There we go.
Did I spell his name correctly? La la
La la
la.
la la la. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I will be back on Wednesday with some Potion Explosion and Matthew Dunstan on stream. But until then, stay safe, enjoy your games, and I will catch you all next time. Bye, folks.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Jess.